Room 237 is a documentary feature directed by Rodney Asher detailing the theories, conspiracies, speculation and symbolism in Stanley Kubrick's horror masterpiece The Shining, as well as Kubrick's directing style in general. The narrative goes something like this. A handful of people that I've never heard of give audio voiceover, dissecting and talking in detail about particular shots and scenes in The Shining. We're shown particular scenes from The Shining, often multiple times or in slow motion or from different angles, and these narrators, all of which are die-hard Kubrick fanatics or radicals, if you will, they basically just talk about all these incredibly subtle things we can see in the background, or the way particular shots line up intentionally, and what kind of ideas Stanley Kubrick was trying to illustrate. This movie is a damn mind-bender. The Shining is my favourite horror film of all time, and the film itself is so bizarre and could be interpreted in so many different ways. There's a scene in The Shining where a character hallucinates a man dressed as a dog or a bear, performing fellatio on another man. If things like that in horror films don't intrigue and fascinate you, you're just lying to yourself. Room 237 doesn't specifically cover that strange scene, as I think that will only make sense if you've read the Stephen King book, which I haven't, unfortunately. But Room 237 has you covered for any questions you might have about metaphors for the Holocaust, Indian burial grounds, the Apollo moon landing, and minotaurs that are represented in The Shining. It even shows an aspect of The Shining in which Stanley Kubrick has been thought to proverbially and subtly give the middle finger to Stephen King. Honestly, if you love The Shining, this is a must-see, and if you hate The Shining, it's also a must-see, because it might make you view the film from a totally different angle, or it might make you laugh at all the stupidly ridiculous ideas Kubrick was trying to depict in the film, so it could have that ironic entertainment value for some. Some of the conspiracies, I will admit, were just reading too far, and these narrators may as well sit down and watch The Smurfs 2 and find similar symbolism. There's also a scene in the film that depicts reverse imposition, so if you imagine The Shining as a sort of timeline, and if it's played in reverse and forwards at the same time, apparently particular shots line up intentionally, and Stanley Kubrick did that completely intentionally. Anyway, here's a clip to further explain
all the symbols
that.
in the movie start overlap in the superimposition, backwards forwards superimposition. The murdered twins are overlaid across Jack's face, and he looks like he looks like a clown, and makes like a clown mask. You know, there's blood everywhere, and like blood on his lips, and blood coming out of his eyes, and like, you know, Danny takes it, you know, like Danny has his hands over his face, and Jack is looking out from his head, and then he like peeks out, and he sees Grady.
Yeah, that's just gotta be bullshit. But from a guy who loves The Shining and Stanley Kubrick, Room 237 didn't disappoint. There are so many fascinating things in here. There was this one particular narrator, and she'd watch The Shining, and as she'd watch it, she'd really observe as the characters walked through the Overlook Hotel, and she'd sort of draw out maps of the entire building, and there'd be characters walking into particular rooms that are sort of located in the middle or around about in the middle of the building, and there'd be windows looking outside, and it's these creepily intentional things that Stanley Kubrick implemented into The Shining that make it so good, in my opinion.
Paper, I did not even begin to attempt to do them to scale. Let me see, I can't say which room I started off with, I don't remember, and just went through and decided I was going to try to do as much as I could, feeling that I felt eventually that there were places that I could plot out, such as where the girls were killed. I was not absolutely sure at that point when I started out doing the maps where the girls were killed, but I felt that it was somewhere back around the area where they lived. Suite number, suite number 3.
Room 237 is a mind bender. It pickled my brain, and could I recommend this to absolutely anybody? No. But for film enthusiasts, check it out. So that's it, guys. That's Room 237. Subscribe and comment, start a conversation, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.